The earthquake in Northridge, California in 1994. So, what was the Northridge earthquake? This earthquake occurred on January 17th, 1994 at 4:31 a.m. In Southern California, about 21 miles away from downtown Los Angeles. It had a magnitude of 6.7 and its duration was about 8 seconds. It was a blind thrust fault that had been previously undocumented, and it was felt as far as San Francisco and Las Vegas. And it's known as one of the most destructive natural disasters in American history, as well as in one of the worst earthquakes in California. So, what was the human impact of the earthquake? So first of all, there was a lot of infrastructure damage. It affected 150 incorporated cities and about 6,000 square mile zone where people were injured. Um, so a lot of the damage occurred with infrastructure. So there was heavy damage to a lot of buildings, apartment complexes, parking, garages, and interstate highways. The official death toll is 57, but it's estimated it could be up to 72. Um, and only 33 people died immediately from the earthquake, and many died from indirect causes, uh, such as stress induced things like cardiac arrest. Um, the official injuries are listed around 3,000, but it's possible they went up to 9,000. And the damages were about $35 billion worth. Um, some of the main areas that were affected were the Northridge Meadows apartment complex, which completely collapsed and killed 16 people. Also affected was the Northridge Fashion Center and the California State University. Um, One of the places where the damage was most well known was the Santa Monica Freeway, Interstate 10, which collapsed, and that had a big impact on traffic congestion around the area afterwards of the earthquake, and it took a really long time to repair. So, the environmental impacts of the earthquake, um, it caused damage to five major aqueducts, disrupting the supply of water from the north. Uh, it also interrupted firefighting due to the damage of the aqueducts. Um, there was also a break in a natural gas transmission line on Balboa Boulevard. Um, let's see. It caused a lot of landslides and ground deformation, which further caused damage to roads, buildings, and habitats for animals and things like that. Um, some of the collapsed buildings and landslides also led to a large amount of dust and debris being released into the air, which led to poor air quality and asbestos being in the air, which is dangerous for people and animals and the plants in the area. One other interesting thing that came from the dust in the air was a outbreak of valley fever, which is a disease caused by fungus spores, which traveled with the dust. And 203 cases were reported, with three resulting in fatalities right after the earthquake. Some other relevant information after the earthquake: building codes were improved for earthquake resistance in the area around LA and California. And there was also some increased funding for seismic activity safety protocols and disaster preparedness. There were some insurance reforms in areas that were more prone to quakes, and there was general greater public awareness on earthquakes and what they are, how they work, and the risks that they pose. Um, yeah, so that was the earthquake in uh, the Northridge earthquake in 1994 in California.